Saat berangkat kerja, sebelum menjalankan WFO, pastikan Anda dalam kondisi sehat dan fit. Jangan lupa, wajib untuk selalu menggunakan masker, membawa hand sanitizer, dan membawa perlengkapan ibadah sendiri. Wajib menggunakan moda transportasi pribadi atau yang disediakan perusahaan. Saat tiba di kantor, wajib gunakan masker. Cuci tangan di fasilitas yang telah disediakan atau menggunakan hand sanitizer sebelum memasuki kantor. Wajib menjalankan thermal screening oleh fungsi medikal. Hanya pekerja dengan suhu tubuh normal kurang dari 37,5 derajat Celcius yang diperbolehkan masuk kantor. Pekerja dengan suhu di atas 37,5 derajat Celcius diarahkan ke tim medis. Terapkan physical distancing sesuai dengan pengaturan yang telah ditetapkan. Penerapan physical distancing dengan mengatur pola layout, tata letak, tempat duduk, dan pengurangan kapasitas setiap ruangan. Mengisi daftar hadir online. Laksanakan pola hidup bersih sehat. Optimalkan fasilitas e-meeting dengan M-Teams. Apabila rapat fisik tidak dapat dihindari, patuhi aturan rapat dengan pastikan jumlah peserta sesuai kapasitas physical distancing yang diatur di setiap ruang rapat. Durasi rapat maksimal 60 menit. Hindari berjabatan tangan dan kontak fisik lainnya. Untuk pekerja yang harus keluar kantor, maka wajib membawa surat tugas dari atasan dan diserahkan ke security. Selama waktu istirahat, tetap terapkan physical distancing dan hindari keramaian, termasuk penggunaan fasilitas umum lainnya seperti toilet, musola, dan ruang tunggu. Dihimbau membawa bekal makan siang dari rumah dan gunakan peralatan makan dan minum pribadi. Dilarang meninggalkan kantor untuk membeli makan siang. Apabila tidak membawa bekal, wajib memesan makanan melalui layanan delivery service yang disediakan Pertamina maupun dari provider lain dengan protokol pengambilan makanan yang ditetapkan. Saat pulang kerja, wajib gunakan masker. Terapkan physical distancing dalam mobilitas menuju rumah. Wajib menggunakan moda transportasi pribadi atau yang disediakan perusahaan. Tidak mengunjungi tempat keramaian. Membersihkan diri sesaat tiba di rumah. Patuhi seluruh protokol mulai berangkat dari rumah, bekerja di kantor atau di lapangan, sampai kembali ke rumah. Tetap sehat dan selamat. Kuncinya adalah kejujuran dan disiplin dalam menjalankan protokol perusahaan. Jaga diri, selamatkan keluarga. Tetap semangat dan nyalakan energi tulus untuk melayani negeri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, distinguished guests, honorable speakers, members of the board, friends from the media, our perwira Pertamina, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to GlobalPISation live webinar conducting an optimal international business activities. My name is Puri Anindita, so honored to be here as your host and moderator, and I am delighted to be part of this incredible and important two-day webinar. On behalf of our organizer, PT Pertamina International Shipping, I'd like to thank you for making the time and gracing today's event with your presence. PT Pertamina International Shipping, or PTPIS for short, commit to continuous improvement throughout the organization in order to ensure sustainable future. To be a leading shipping company in Asia whilst driving economic growth in Indonesia, we understand that upskilling and reskilling our workforce is paramount. Ladies and gentlemen, our webinar today will shed light on managing business 101, be a world-class company. Many companies talk about going global, but becoming a strong global brand isn't just about expanding to international markets. It's also about succeeding in those markets and avoiding risky cross-cultural mishaps. And at the same time, we must simultaneously work on embedding a sense of global thinking into our corporate cultures and the way we operate on a daily basis. You can access this PT Pertamina employee exclusive webinar on Zoom or YouTube, and today's discussion is available in two languages, English and Indonesian. So please click the interpreting feature on your Zoom app and choose which language you prefer. Please make sure that you are using the updated version of our Zoom app. Shoot your questions. I'll be waiting to our Zoom chat box or YouTube comment column using the format your name, underscore your function or department you're from, or the name of your media, underscore your question. I'll do my best to facilitate all questions at the end of discussion. And our webinar today consists of a plenary session and two breakout sessions that you can choose. So right after our talk, you can opt for breakout room 1, digging deep into the topic of effective business communication, or you can opt for breakout room 2, where you can learn more about emotional intelligence, the importance of EQ in business with Pertamina's best panels and hosts. We will disclose the link soon through chat box, and make sure you take notes because 200,000 rupiah awaits winners for our quiz later. Be the top 3, good luck and all the best. As for day 1 attendance link, kindly go to bit.ly/attendance_PIS. Make sure you fill the form out so you get the chance to win the door prize tomorrow. Link will be shared in your Zoom app chat box or YouTube live chat. So, enough of the housekeeping. To kick off today's event, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in singing the Pertamina hymn.
Tak ada harapan terlalu tinggi atau impian terlalu rendah. Mari bersama wujudkan walau tidak mudah. Tanamkan keyakinan dengan komitmen. Bekerja dari hati dengan hati. Tulus melayani akan mewujudkan aspirasi kita menjadi perusahaan global energi terdepan dengan nilai pasar $100 miliar.
Amalkan akhlak untuk kita, untuk Indonesia.
Menghias biru di langit negeri, dedikasi tinggi tiada henti.
from Indonesia to the world. Moving right along, it is now my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker, CEO of PT Pertamina International Shipping, Mr. Eri Widiastono.
Good morning. First of all, I hope everyone is in good condition, despite pandemic going around in this country. Too bad this event is being held online for the sake of health protocol. As we all know, Pertamina Group has the aspiration to become global energy champion with a market value of 100 billion. And we, as Perwira Pertamina, are responsible to make it happen. Over the years, there is shifting in employees' productive generation. Not more than half of Pertamina employees are young millennials and even Generation Z, which benefit Pertamina in achieving its goals. To achieve its goals, one of the ways to get there is no equip young Perwira Pertamina with quality and attribute to grow as a person and leaders in the future. PT Pertamina International Shipping proudly initiate this event, GlobalPISation, as a part of capacity building for all Perwira Pertamina to be exposed to wider and more dynamic international businesses. As part of Akhlak implementation, this event is aimed to build competency by giving you real-life example of conducting business abroad, to make harmony and collaboration, as the speaker are varied from different subholding or affiliates, to enhance Perwira's adaptability in facing international business in the future. We hope that all Perwira involved are able to grasp the essence of this activity and be prepared for future challenges. We also hope that this is not the first and the last. There will be more GlobalPISation in the future, more people involved and more varied speakers. This event is meant to be for all of Perwira, to be ready to face all the challenges to become Global Energy Champion 2024. You are more than welcome to participate and feel free to involve yourself in joining the discussion. Thank you for everyone involved. We wish you great and enjoyable time. See you all around.
Thank you so much, Pak Eri Widiastono, for an enlightening speech and for giving us context. And I'm glad you touched on the subject of capacity building, especially for young leaders, in your speech and create so much awareness regarding the same. Now, speaking of becoming world-class company, I am sure we can learn a lot from today's speaker, whose resilience I deeply admire, Mr. Ivan Tandio. He is the owner and founder of Navanti Holdings. He began his business journey in F&B industry in 2003 from a cafe to a few restaurants in the heart of Melbourne. Despite going through many challenges, he managed to persevere, building and growing his business. He diversified his business to many different sectors, ranging from manufacturing, services, creative business, to trading and property development. Now, let's take a quick look at Navanti Holdings and see what it's all about.
We want to make a difference. As crazy as it sounds, we do want to change the world. Navanti was never about ambitions. It was more of a calling and purpose. For us, business is more than just success and influence. It's about the people behind the business. For more than a decade, we have encountered individuals with talents, genius ideas, and those with potentials. And we have supported many of them to find their way through our ventures. In Navanti, we believe that everyone has the same chance to be successful. From small beginnings, we have helped many of them to turn their dream into reality. Every investment that we make, we have people in mind. Navanti is an investment company, so we invest in diversified businesses. Mainly, we invest in startups and SMEs, both in Australia and overseas. For us, it's about believing in ideas, shaping sustainable business models, and grooming founders. At the end of the day, we invest in people. So far, we have invested in 18 different joint ventures in the last decade. Most of them are property-related businesses, services, and F&B manufacturing. Whether that's a property development company, asset management, real estate, interior design and renovations, to commercial cleaning services and creative agencies.
BNS is a manufacturer of commercial kitchen appliances. We've been in the marketplace for over 60 years now. The support from Navanti has been instrumental to the joint venture. It's enabled us to get fantastic penetration into the marketplace. We know that Indonesia is quite a significant market, and you need the right team and the right people to be able to get there and make a difference in the marketplace.
I choose to work with Navanti based on trust. From day one that we work together, and we've been doing it together now with XDG for almost 5 years. And even though when we have facing problem, we know that the relationship is there and the trust is there.
What I found in Navanti is a real partner in navigating through the business and growing the business and the industry. Feels like we are not doing this alone.
Synergy Realty is a one-stop shop property agency. Over the years, we have sold over $1.5 billion worth of sales, and at the moment we're managing 2,200 properties. We are very, very proud to be associated with Navanti through and foundations for the good cause.
We focus on helping our clients realize their objectives. Since we have a cross-country client base, we also provide guidance when our clients decide to expand their business overseas. By using market study and strategic planning, we are able to help our clients penetrate overseas markets and establish their business. We also provide services for family businesses by structuring a worry-free succession.
We like to see the passion that people have for entrepreneurship. We help entrepreneurs to launch their startups by providing a solid foundation so they begin their journey on stable grounds. We do this by providing a business ecosystem that promotes growth in all our clients. And in addition to this, we also assist our clients to expand their horizon by providing a business connection to the Asia-Pacific region. We're very passionate about businesses, so we create different entrepreneurship programs for different audiences. And through incubation, we want to create impactful entrepreneurs that can take control of their own destiny.
Navanti Hybrid Investments envision to be a gateway for enterprising businesses by providing funding and investments. We divert from the traditional investment banking products and position ourselves to fill the gap for businesses and projects with unique operators. We believe in removing the exclusivity of investment opportunities that traditionally has always been only available for high net worth investors. Through hybrid investments, we aspire to allow even a large-scale investments to be easily accessible for many people.
This is actually the core heart of Pertamina Group, and it's the reason of why we do what we do. We care for the next generation, and through this program, we provide them not only with the facilities for them to be able to go to the uni, but also we provide them with the right mentors, with the right seminars, with the right ecosystem, and also community for them to be able to grow themselves and to achieve the dreams that they want to. And this is a foundation you and I can make a difference.
It has been a long journey for us. We've been through a lot of seasons, the ups and downs. Our successes were built through a lot of failures, but each time we fall, we came back up again and again.
Joining us from Australia, Mas Ivan Tandio. Good morning from Jakarta, Mas Ivan. Welcome to our webinar.
Good morning, Mbak Puri, and all the Perwira, Pertamina, juga Pak Edi. Thank you for having me. Such a privilege to be here with you guys.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for joining us, and I know it's lunchtime in Melbourne, so I hope we don't
Yep.
interrupt your lunch. And thank you for
I'm
making the
skipping my
time.
lunch. I'm skipping my lunch for you, especially for you guys.
Thank you. But let's get down to it. Mas Ivan, how has COVID-19 disrupt not only your personal life but also business?
Well, it changed everything. I think the COVID-19 teaches to be adaptable, like everything. And especially with our company, we are so diverse. We have so many different front end within our company. We have different type of industry that we are in. So we have to maneuver within in such a short period of time. We need to really maneuver, and we make ourselves quite agile to evolve and adapt to the situations. And every industry, every business that we have need to change differently, but fundamentally it's still the same. So last year was very seru, Mbak. Seru habis.
I can only imagine you are owning more than 25 different business subsidiaries. So speaking of remaneuvering, we would like to learn more from you. And I have to be honest here, Mas Ivan, I think you are one of the most resilient business owners I've known or I've read. Could you take us back? Could you take us back to the moment where your restaurant collapsed, followed by bankruptcy, and how that moment transformed you to, again, founding or owning more than 25 different business subsidiaries under Navanti Holdings? What happened? Tell us.
I never regrets. Everything works for a reason. God is good, without all the experience that I've been through, with all the downfall, with all the failures, we wouldn't be here. We are now coaching businesses. We are coaching entrepreneurship in the front end. We're teaching them how to build business, and we build business with them together, and we grow businesses. And without all the experience, I know my experience was like a movie. I myself quite surprised if people ask me, "Would you repeat it again?" Maybe not, but I didn't regret it, but maybe I would not repeat it again. We learned so much mistakes from there. So we went through bankruptcy. Not many people went through bankruptcy, and we went through bankruptcy like in a movie, like really in a really hard way. I've been through everything, in my business, because I was here as a migrant. I was a student in Australia. And then after that, I became a migrant into Australia and started a business. I had this small opportunities to start up a new, not startup, actually I bought a small cafe in a downtown city, and it taught me about hard work. Hard work is real. I woke up like 5 a.m., start serving coffee. I myself serve coffee, and I have to be there, cutting chicken and preparing all the food for all the guests for the morning rush and everything. I have to remember every single guest. What do they want? They like latte, they like cappuccino, you want the toast, you want it a bit burned, you want it whatever, right? But through my journey, we've learned so much. And and especially that 5 years of my journey in the F&B, food and beverage business, that was like my school. That was like my Harvard. That was like my Harvard itself. So I was hands-on, and then I got, cheated by people when I strike business deals. I bought wrong business. Long story. I can't, it will take a whole day to explain about that. But then after I grew my restaurant into 3 branches, I grew too aggressively, and I went into a shopping mall. And then that's when I crashes. I crashed into the ground. Really, I owe a lot of people money, and I have to pay them back. So the next 2 years after that crashed, I was just working in one of my restaurants. So I'm keeping one of my restaurants. The other one went bankrupt, and I'm keeping one of my restaurants, my main one. And I was working there for 2 years just to pay back my debt the next 2 years. And it was real, I could never imagine I'll be here now.
Oh, wow. So bouncing back from that moment, you keep one main restaurant and you make sure you pay all of the debt. But from that moment to branching out to 25 different businesses, that's another different beast. So take us why that happened. How did you do it? Tell us more.
Yeah. Here's the thing. What people don't understand, the process is more important than the destinations, right? The 25 is like the fruit of what we have been processed. If we didn't go through the process, we're not going to get to the 25 business. But what people don't understand, the process is the most important thing. That 2 years experience, me paying debt and I'm being chased by people, who really wants the money. It was a whole new experience to me. I taught myself so hard about accountability, just to work hard and how to just distribute money. I don't even have money there. And it was like a dark time to me. I learned how to persevere, to be resilient, never give up. And I learned about the importance of having a vision in your life, and you're having a purpose in your life. So you don't stop. I could have just stopped back then and went back to Indonesia and give up, right? But then, yeah, I pushed through because of the visions. Now, how I came back, how I rebounded. A lot of people ask, how did I rebounded from from having a minus? I didn't start from zero, but I start from minus because I owe people's money, right? But here's the thing. I think this is what I learned. Creativity works really well under pressure. And with limitations, you whether you like it or not, if you push if you decide to go through it, I think your creativity will comes out. So don't be afraid to have limitations in your life. We all have limitations. Everybody has different limitations, but I believe that creativity is worth a lot. And imagination, like Einstein said, imagination it's more important than knowledge. This is what makes us here. So I had that idea. I like to observe things. I like to analyze things, even when I go through life. It's almost like I'm putting myself on a camera, my own camera. So I have one portion of my brain. It's just being designed to observe how I react on things and how I observe on the things around me. So I had that idea. I saw the opportunity that a lot of people wanting to invest into Australia, because Australia is such a great place, a safe place for investors. The financial institution is very stable. So I had that idea in the back of my mind, and I executed that. And so I took up the license, and I created an investment company, an end-to-end investment company. And this is where it all began. And I brought this into Indonesia and Asia market. The money in Asia money was hungry to find a safe place to go. And I just provided the perfect timing, perfect solution for them. And we were moving money like crazy, millions and millions. Up to a year now, we moved more than $500 million worth of money into the country from Asia. And that's how it opens up everything, because I start to deal with so many investors, and I build relationship with investors, when wealthy of the wealthiest people. And that's where opportunities start to open, because we manage the relationship well.
Look at that. Wow. Okay, I believe that learning from someone else's mistake is somewhat better than learning from our own mistakes. So if you can jot down perhaps 3 rookie mistakes when expanding business, what would it be?
Well, there's so many things, right? There's so many checklists. If you ask me just for 3, it will be very challenging. But in terms of expanding, one of the main important things for you to keep in mind is that, are you ready for the expansions? And what was the vision behind the expansions? Your expansion should be a byproduct of your plan, of the vision itself. When we were young, I expand just for expand. We want to grow bigger, we want more money, more things. But it's wrong. It's not like that. It should be a part, it should be just a byproduct of the visions. And that's where everything falls into the structure, into the process, into the roadmap. That is so important. And obviously, lastly, being teachable. You need to have a mentor. That's so important. That's why we created 11 Space now. We initiated 11 Space in Jakarta and in Australia. We provide mentorship because we saw that's what's missing on my life. I know I have my parents was my mentor, a few people, but they're so distant. But you need a close mentor within your ecosystem.
Yeah. So starting a company in Indonesia, of course, it's a challenge, but setting up a business abroad is another different beast. So what are the essential ingredients to when it comes to international success?
Okay. First of all, a lot of people told me back then, this was 15 years ago or maybe even more, Ivan, what are you doing in Australia? Just go home. You're not going to survive. Especially during that season, about 15, 20 years ago, it was quite challenging. The environment doing business in Australia, being a migrant, was very challenging. And so, yeah, so I just have to beat the odd, right? I have to go against the stream. And the thing that's so important is you need to adapt.
Yeah.
Adaptability is so important. You have to understand how to do business in every country. The way to do business is very different. Like for example, like Indonesia, a lot of the people here in Australia, of the people internationally who I deal with, they don't understand how to deal business in Indonesia. It's a very hard puzzle to crack. For them, it's like going into a forest, coming into Indonesia. Now it's a big change. Now we have a big change in Indonesia, the way we do things. But in the past, if you don't know the way we do it is very different. You're not going to get into it. But it's just like in Australia, you just have to learn, you have to understand, you have to adapt, you have to be planted here, you have to you go to the roots and understand the dealing with what kind of cultures, the way people do things, and how things work. There's a business model within the country, there's a business model within the business itself and the industry itself. And you have to understand that before you go into business with them.
So what is your biggest business culture shock in Australia, and how did you adapt?
Well, I think in Australia, everything is quite systematic, very systematic. And those are the things, you know, I have to follow the structures. You know, to follow the right pathways, but once you know it, you know where to go, and that's very, very important to me. I'm very adaptable. I think I can go anywhere and adapt, and I can be local straight away. I will be talking the language and stuff like that. There wasn't much a culture shock to me. It's just, for me, it was the fundamental business that was new. Because I was an art person, I was a musician, but
I did not know that.
Yes, I got expelled. Now this is big. I'm telling you guys, I got expelled by my university in Australia because I was going for a gig. I was doing gig too many times. I was just into gig, and I truly, my dream was simple, but I want to become a MTV VJ.
Oh my goodness.
That was the olden days, like glorious days. But then, yeah, everything was new to me. In business environment, that was, you know, fundamentally, you have to understand this, whether you're in Australia or in Indonesia, you need that fundamental business understanding. That's what's missing in my life.
Okay, I can see that you're a man of many interests. So what is the best way for us to grow our global connections? And my gut feeling is telling me that perhaps because you have so many interests, it's so easy for you to make connections. But yeah, tell us the best way for us to grow our global connections and build a meaningful international network.
Well, I think number one, you need to build trust, right? Reputations, and before people wanting to do business with you, you need to have that trust, and you have to earn that trust from them, and you need to have to build your reputation. So sometimes we just want to go international too fast, but we were not ready. So I think it's so important for you to build your capacity, for your international capacity, for you to be ready. And then once you're ready, you need to understand where you're going. It's so simple. You need to understand really whether, say for example, you want to do business with Australia. Do you understand what Australia needs? What do they want? Because to me, business can be quite simple. It's about meeting each other's needs. You know, it's a win-win solution. If you come into table, you're about to strike a negotiation of, say, $1 billion negotiation. No matter how big the monetary number, the key is very simple. It's about meeting the win-win solutions, but understanding what your friends needs, what their other counterparty needs, what they want, and what kind of solution that you can provide. That's a fundamental, I think. Even you going international is like that too.
Yeah. What we bring to the table, what we bring to the conversation, what solution we can provide, example, I think that's key, yeah?
Simple example, but Indonesia, the labor cost in Indonesia is very low, and we have the manpower. In Australia, we don't have. It's very scarce. So anything related to outsourcing is highly demanded. Even now, I'm doing business internationally all the time because I'm leveraging every single strength of each countries. In Australia, very strong with the R&D and everything, with the advancing technology and financial system and blah, blah, blah. But all these resources, all the mass production, for example, I'm manufacturing. Our manufacturing, I'm in partnership with Australian company, who's one of the biggest in Australia. So we created the mass production in Indonesia, and we do customization and R&D in Australia. So that's what's work. And then, for example, with my asset management and the rest of the company, we do a lot of the admin work in Indonesia. We even now have a company called At Once that we actually sell design, graphic design, and all these services into Australian company, while everything is being done in Indonesia. So this is understanding each other's countries' strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. And pandemic and the technology really accelerated that, things.
Yes.
And I'm sure most of our Perwira Pertamina audience are leaders and potential leaders. What does it take to become an impactful leader, especially in multicultural and diverse setting? That's another challenge. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Well, we are big with impactful. Every time we go and do business, we have that philosophy that we want to be sustainable, we want to be profitable, because if you're not profitable, obviously you can't help other people. And lastly, you want to be impactful. So I think it's so important for each individual within the corporations, even like Pertamina, you guys are so huge. You're the biggest state-owned company in the whole Indonesia. I think how you guys make impact is depending on each individual personnel or family within the company, whether they want to be impactful to your community. It started really small. Be impactful to your department. Be impactful to the people next to you. Be impactful to your community. And having that kind of mindset is very important within the corporations too.
Yeah, I agree. Again, what can we bring to the table in the smallest scale? That's okay, and then we level up, right?
It's a culture, right? Sorry. Yeah, I think it's a culture that needs to be said. I think this is a great initiative by Pertamina. When I had a chat with you guys, this is such a great initiative. Not many people is doing this. And this is, I think, a privilege for the Perwira Pertamina and for all of us to be here and to discuss about this. This is a great initiative. I think the culture needs to be set from the top. It's so important for the leader to set the culture. And I always believe what's important is always within your budget. And you've budgeted for this. Yeah, a lot of people just say it very lightly, like, hey, for example, my family is my everything. Yeah. But you never spend time with them. That's actually, to me, it's omong kosong. Whatever important for you, I think you will have a budget for it. Whether that's money, whether that's energy, or whether that's time.
Can't agree more.
Very easy, Raima. Very easy. If you see that customer service is big for your company, you just check their profit and loss, whether there's a budget for customer service. If it's not, that means it's not big.
It's time for us to audit not only our time and energy, but also the money that we invest in. Are they going to the right direction? Yeah,
like this one, you guys budgeted for this, the time for this, the energy for this, and the money for this. That means the welfare of the company is important. That means innovation within the Pertamina, the Peace company, is important. It shows by what you have budgeted in here.
Yeah. So I understand that within the BUMN or the state-owned company, we have a core value called akhlak. Literal English translation is trustworthiness, competence, in harmony, loyal, and agile, and also collaborative. Do you think that translates well to what we've discussed?
Yes, I think so. I think you mentioned trust as well, yeah? Trust, harmony. Yeah. To me, the main currency for a business is trust. Without trust within the stakeholders, there's no business at all. No matter how good is your product, no matter how amazing, how innovative is your product or your services, it means nothing without the trust from the stakeholders. So I think we can dig in a little bit more about trust. I mean, to me, I think trust is building a strong relationship. So if company who understand relationship, they understand trust. So to understand relationship is not easy. Within our Navanti Holdings, one of our core value is actually relationship. So we are big for relationship, and we invest into relationship. We learn about relationship. We share. We talk about it when we share about it. And relationship speaks of so many different things about having a win-win approach, of being caring to other more than yourself, being generous in things. You give first before you receive. And in the meeting, whenever you strike a negotiation, when you're trying to pull out a new business negotiation and everything, when you come into the table, we always have the mindset like, how can make you win? Even when you're doing a negotiation, that's my mentality. I've been training all my directors. Think about how can they win. Before you come into the meeting, prepare a notes. Think about, meditate. How can this company win if they deal with us?
Yeah.
And then if you can give that solution, you will win automatically.
Love it, love it. And also I love the fact that you touch a little bit about how to instill that culture should be top down. Of course, everybody plays an important part of the company culture, but instilling it coming from the top down. Now, let's talk about retaining talent. In the era of the internet, I know this is a tough topic to tackle, but let's discuss. Let's talk about retaining talent. In the era of internet and social media, it is super easy for one person to set up a brand, to be an influencer, and just easily, I don't think corporate world attracts me anymore. So my question would be, what can top companies to retain best talents and to make sure they developed to young leaders, middle management, all the way to the top, hopefully CEO in 10 years time, for example. What's your take?
So are you saying, how can you create loyalty within the company, within a brand? Yeah. It's a tough issue at the moment. I had a discussion with a few of my director the other day. I think it's long gone, all those seasons. Sometimes we can, it's arguments, right? We were discussing. Do you think it's long gone, those loyal era where people work for 30 years within a company? Because we just notice people jump around with always, you're right, with the social media and everything. People become more opportunist and things. But I think it's so important for me to give this message to Perwira, Pertamina. I mean, you need to really, you don't just chase opportunity, but you really need to choose where you want to be. It's so important choosing an environment, a place where you can grow, a place especially where you can align your vision with the company visions. Because to me, it's so important for a personnel or a member within the family to be able to push the same vision, to jump on board with that vision, with that purpose of the company. And I think that's what creates loyalty as well, because you're pursuing something more than just money. You're pursuing something more than just a position, but you're pursuing something greater, which is a purpose and a vision. Obviously, we as a corporations, we need to understand your employees' welfare, your family welfare, and that's why you create a nice working environment. Are you setting the right culture? I think me as a CEO, I need to set the right culture so that my director has these values as well. What philosophy that you want to put in place within the family, right? Do you want to instill generosity? And it starts from you. Do you want to instill servanthood leadership? We're big with that too. It means when they're busy doing things, say for example, we are doing an event, I don't mind helping them lifting chairs and table, even though I'm a CEO. That shouldn't be a problem because you want to be a servant leadership, because the higher you are, the more you are serving to the people below. And that's kind of culture that you want to show to them. Are you teachable? I think that's so important for you to instill that culture of teachability, because evolving, being able to evolve, and agility comes back to whether you want to change or not. And whether you want to change or not, it comes back to your heart, whether you have a teachable mindset, whether you have a teachable heart, and whether you are humble enough to receive.
Thank you. Yeah. Spot on. And also, Perwira Pertamina, who just logged in, I welcome you to today's discussion. We're with Mas Ivan over here, logging in from Australia. And feel free to just shoot us your questions. Check your Q&A box and then shoot us your question. Or if you're logging in and see us from YouTube channel, kindly shoot us your question or type your question in the column section. So Mas Ivan will be taking your questions soon. Because I'm sure millennials are now starting to take over managerial positions and managing first jobber that are Gen Z. So I would like to know your take on this, the dynamics between the millennials engaging with the Gen Z. If there's a gap, how can we minimize it and make sure we're in sync and work towards a bigger impact, and also that purpose, that sense of purpose, it's there within our unit or our company?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is we need to embrace diversity, Mbak Puri. I think diversity is so important within a corporation or within an ecosystem, because I think diversity actually helps you to make better decisions. Why? Very simple, because diversity will give you different perspectives. They will give you a real objective. They will give you a challenge to criticize your idealism, and then that's good for the company. So you can make decisions because you have a different perspective all around you. So I think it's about embracing that, embracing that differences. The new generation, they have a free spirit. They are very much like out there. They want it fast. I came from a generation where I need to write letters to to my ex-girlfriends, right? And it took me like weeks to receive the letters, and then she wrote me back. That's crazy. Now I can just WhatsApp my wife, and my wife doesn't answer me. Or if my wife WhatsApp me and I never answer within 1 minute, this must be something wrong.
and we don't take audio call anymore. We take video calls. Like where you at? Like show me.
I think so. We thought this is a simple thing, but it's a big change. It's wired. It's already pre-wired with the new generations. Everything needs to be fast and need to be agile. Everything needs to be. There's no border. Why can't you do this? Why you should do that? We came from the older generations. Like, hey, there's a structure this, you have to do this. So I think it's being a corporate, being a corporation, we need to understand this, and we need to create a platform for this to grow. We need to create an ecosystem for this diversity to actually work hand in hand and to grow. We need to create sessions or just things that you do that you would facilitate this to actually work hand in hand and in harmony.
Funny you said so, because there seems to be a dichotomy right now for the first jobber. So are you opting for big brands or big companies, or you're now lean towards working for startups? Now, from your perspective, is there any possibilities for quote-unquote conventional companies to work hand-in-hand with startups in order to create greater impact, and so we don't engage in talent war? So that's aside, and then we can collaborate instead of competing.
Let me discuss with you a little bit about the the difference between working in a big corporations or working in a startups, right? Or in a small company even. Working in a startup or small company, obviously you get to understand everything all across the board, because it's so small, right? You just have to do everything. But the downfall is, again, you have to do everything from A to Z. You write the letter, you put the stamp, you go to the post office and you drop it, and all that thing. But on the other side, though, being in a corporation, I think because, especially like Pertamina, you guys are so huge, so large. And, sometimes the downfall that you can be so fixated or you can be boxed within your own role. And which is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be focused. I think focus is so important, but you need sometimes be working in a big corporation. You can be so narrow-minded within your own space, if you understand what I mean. And that is why I think, again, I would like to address this issue. I think being an employee in a larger corporations, you need to still understand your company visions and the purpose of the company. And plus, you need to understand the business model. This is what a lot of people miss as being an employee of a large company. You need to understand how things work in the company. You need to understand the business model of Pertamina or PIS inside out, just like if you're working in a small company. By doing that, that's the only way I think you can focus in the right thing. Focus on one thing, but understanding the big picture. And by doing that, you can still evolve. You can help the company to evolve. Otherwise, if you just do A, B, C, just like a role, like a checklist every day, 1, 2, 3, I do 1, 2, 3, I do 1, 2, 3, and you're not helping the agility of the company. And this is what a big corporation needs. Sometimes you can get into corporate sluggishness, like a slug, because you're so big, it's hard for you to be agile, to move. One of the methods that I see nowadays, I see it from all my friends who own big corporations in Indonesia and Australia, they actually leveraging entrepreneurships, they're leveraging entrepreneurial spirit, they're leveraging startups company, they collab or sometimes they build startup within their company, or even let the employees have a creative space to become entrepreneur for you to create that agility for a large corporation. And that's actually a plus point. So if you can make every single employees within Pertamina as a single entrepreneur championing Pertamina, you will be so agile. You know the story of Sony PlayStation and the Post-it as well? Sony PlayStation.
Tell us more. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah. Sony used to make TV and sound system.
Right.
So actually they created that game console, Sony PlayStation, by accident. Because they came out from an idea from their sound lab. And they took, because one of the employees was having this idea, and the company thought, this is great. And now they become one of the biggest main revenue maker within the Sony company. And Post-it as well. Post-it, they created a headset, right? But when they first found it, that guy was, he was in the lab. He was just creating a headset, which is like glue, right? And then they create a really low, like very weak glue. Can you imagine? They create a really weak glue, and that came out an idea of why don't we use this as a Post-it? And they now billions and billions of dollars. And that's entrepreneur within a corporation, which we would like to see more and more now.
Love it. Great example. Also, allow me to challenge you again. So David Epstein, the writer of the book Range, I hope Perwira Pertamina can make time to read this book. Very fascinating. So David Epstein here argued that being a generalist will triumph in today's ever-changing world compared to specialist. I know this is such a controversial thesis, but do you share the same sentiment?
I think generalists need to work with the specialists.
I love it. Why so? Could you elaborate more? Walk us through why that's important.
Well, here's the thing. Being a CEO, you don't have to be specialist in one thing, right? You don't have to work. If you're a specialist in one thing, you work in the lab, for example. You're really, really good at making glue, for example. You do tests on glue, and then you work in the lab. You can lead the lab and everything. But being a CEO, I think you need to be quite diverse and you need to understand everything. Sometimes they call us generalists because we need to understand all across the board. Even though I don't know how to make the glue, but I know how glue works and how we can make money out of glue. How can we sell glue? How can we promote glue? And how can we distribute it? And I think it's so important for us to be able to work with specialists. And we need specialists in this life. Otherwise, there's no, there's no vaccination, there's no solution to things. I think there are a lot of, that's why a lot of the academia, this is funny story, but I was delivering a keynote, entrepreneur keynotes in Japan, in Tokyo. So it was a privilege. I was invited by the Cambridge University and the Tokyo University to do a keynote in front of all the professor of entrepreneur in this whole Asia country. So there was professor from Korea, there was professor from Beijing University, from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Philippines, Vietnam, Japan, and UK. And so there are so many of them. I'm the only one who is not professor. So they use me as a lab rep. I'm the practice of the
guinea pig of the lab. Okay.
The guinea pig of the lab. So the professor is thinking, okay, let's see how businessmen do things, right? And this is the funny thing that is similar. So, I think it's relevant to your questions. After I delivered the keynotes, quite a few professors came to me, and one of them from Korea University, and she asked me, Ivan, I was wondering, because I've been leading my department for many years. She's actually the head of departments of entrepreneurship in Korea University. And she asked me, but I've been having dilemma in my head. I've been asking myself, should I encourage them to do it, to do business? And I said, are you serious? Wow, you're asking me this crazy question coming up from you. I thought you've been teaching this. And then from there, I realized one thing. These are the way academia, people from academics are thinking.
Yeah.
And they're businessmen, they're academics. This is the thing. Academics normally become specialized.
Yeah.
They are specialized on one thing. They're so good at one thing. That's why they have doctors, professors, and do things. And then this is what exactly I told them. I think we need to work together, hand in hand.
Yeah.
The simple answer to your question, yes, you have to encourage all your students to do it. Because I think failure or making mistakes is part of the trade. Because she was worried that people will fail, because she understands using her academia understanding and research, 90% fail, right? Or 75% and above fail doing business. So she thought, like, why should I encourage someone if you're gonna fail within the category? And I told her, I think that's the thing, that's just the beauty. There are people like me who will do it on the street, who will gut shot and then make mistake and stand up again. But there are people like you who will make us more efficient, more strategized, smarter each day, because you do a lot of research and you study it.
Yeah.
And that is why we need to work together. The people who specialize need to empower people who's generalists, and we need to do it together.
Love it. Stop playing within our bubble. Reach out, network, and work together. Love it. I think I would like to now turn the spotlight to our audience, to Perwira Pertamina. One question, unfortunately this is anonymous, Mas Ivan, and also for you who just logged in, feel free to just shoot us questions. Mas Ivan is here with us from Australia. Make sure you type your question and I'll facilitate. Sorry, can you go back? Yeah. Wearing so many hats and owning more than 25 different business subsidiaries under Navanti, walk us through your day, Mas, from the moment you woke up until you're back asleep. Good question.
They always want to know this.
Yes, why not?
Why not? Thank you for asking the question. I would start in order of priority. When you wake up, obviously you do the most important thing first, which is eating.
I thought checking email would be it, but I was wrong.
I was joking,
Breakfast.
I like eating, no, I'm joking. I like to eat a lot. That's why I can't get myself slim enough. So, but yeah, no. I think order of priority in the morning is so important for you to appreciate your day. I like to pray in the morning, say thanks to God for giving me another day. And that's so important to me. And then number two, I will turn to my family. My family is there. I got 2 daughters, beautiful daughters. And then I'll go to my wife, cuddle with my family, tell them that I love them, tell good things, just have a little bit of chat with them and cuddle with them. And then after that, then you go to your thing. Then obviously I'll shower every day. I shower every day. Then I will do my thing. The first thing I would do in terms of my work was not checking emails, it's my planning. My planner is big. I'm big in planning. I make notes of everything. That's why I have super PAs all around me. They're here, Alpha and Josephine, they're amazing ladies. So I would actually see all my calendar, see my notes, what's happening, what to do, because my calendar gets filled months ahead, right? And then that's so important for me to plan my day.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if something's not clear, I would call my PAs, discuss it, and then before that, you know, they say planning is halfway through, right? If you've done your planning, you're halfway there already. Then you start to go about it like, yeah. And sometimes you just need to prioritize things.
Yeah. Somebody says to me that having too many checklists was actually not a productive thing. So jot it down to maximum 3 most important tasks, and then you'll win the day. Do you share the same sentiment? The way you manage your day, you tackle 3 big, I don't know, projects, meetings that is meaningful to you, or you have like a list of checklists. You try to check it off before, for example, 9 p.m. in the evening. How do you navigate your day?
Well, I wish I have that privilege to be able to choose just 3 every day. On some of the days, yes, I do that. This is what I do. So I work with my EA, right, executive assistant, my PAs. So I will tell them every single meetings or everything that I wanted done. I will tell them the pressure level. So the pressure level which is really urgent, just urgent, or just mild or whatever, or you can. Then they straight away know how to prioritize in my calendar. It's so important because then I can prioritize that 3 things, or at least what is the main goal that I want to achieve today. That is because, you know, being flooded with so many things, you just need to limit your time. Yeah. I even have a limit of 7 p.m. at night every day for my work. That's my commitment to my family, to my wife, and no work on the weekend as well. Okay. So unless there are any special circumstances.
Yeah. So laptop off at 7 p.m. and weekends.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So we have Raka here. Hi, Raka. I hope you're still with us. Raka, have a question for you, Mas. Are there any particular stereotypes of Indonesian from Australian perspective or in Australia? Interesting.
Stereotypes from the perspective of the Australian?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's from Raka.
Start with a good one.
Okay.
With a good one, Raka.
Yes.
I think the Australians really think that we are friendly and we are nice people to deal with. Then that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Start off strong.
That is a good thing. Every time they deal with the Indonesian, they think that Indonesian they are nice people. They like to deal with Indonesians.
Okay.
In terms of the
room for improvement,
room for improvement, I have to be careful. The other polar, right? It's complicated to deal with.
Complicated is the word.
Complicated is the word coming into business in Indonesia.
Oh, in that context. Okay.
I chat with so many in that context, not in a personal relationship context. In the personal relationship context, they love it. They love it. They go to Bali all the time. They do business in Bali. I think they think they own Bali. So they're fond of Indonesia. They love it. Especially Indonesian girlfriends. Now they're looking for Indonesian wife. Quality wife, they said. Indonesian good quality wife. Yes. And but then dealing business is a completely different thing though. Dealing business is, it used to be quite complicated to get things done in Indonesia. With the PMR thing, and everything. But now it's getting better. Much better. Much better.
So that structure and then time frame, they need to know when it's gonna be done instead of like, okay, soon. How soon is soon? Okay, noted.
Yes.
I hope Raka is nodding towards this discussion, with us. But Raka, thank you for the excellent question. Next question is coming from Angga. Mas Angga ask, do you have any particular book or website that you always go to that you think is influential and you can recommend us?
I read a lot of books, all right? be connected with us. You know, that's my Instagram, and then there's a barcode in my bag right here. So be connected with us. I'm more than happy to share all the books that I read. I read a lot of books because, you know, I didn't study, Mbak Puri. That's why I have to pay back later. I have to pay back during that. I read like no other, right? So I love studying now. Books, for example, there's this book which is very impactful to me. It's called The New Gold Standard. I learned this is a book about Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
So they wrote the book about Ritz-Carlton, and it's called The New Gold Standard. I think it's amazing for you to understand services, customer service, building networks, and building relationships. And I would follow this guy named Simon Sinek. I think he's amazing. Check him out. It's really good. I think he really touches the fundamentals. He just don't talk about money, getting rich, wealthy, all that. But he really touched the fundamentals. Read Simon Sinek. He's good.
Ray
Dalio. Ray Dalio is also good.
Okay. Which Simon Sinek's book is your favorite out of so many amazing books out of him?
Oh, just many. The question why?
Starts with why? Is that your favorite?
Amazing,
yeah, it's
amazing book. Yes, amazing book. Starts with why. It's amazing book.
Yeah, I hope Mas Angga also share the sentiment. Mas Angga, let's connect and see if you love Simon Sinek's books too. Mbak Rati, next question. What factors come into consideration for a business to expand? I think you touched base a little bit on that earlier, but perhaps you can elaborate more to Mbak Rati.
So expand or growth need to work hand in hand, right? You need to plan. You need to plan your growth carefully. Now, in the new era of startup, technology startup, it means a whole new world to scale, to grow, and to expand. You can grow from $1 million company valuations to 50 million valuations within 4 years. In the past generations, that's just quite crazy. So you need to understand when you build your roadmap, you need to include every single variables in your plan to grow, which is you need to plan your resources. Do you have the resources? Whether you have the skill set, whether you have the human capital, whether you have the money, whether you have the technology and everything. So coming from making big mistake from expansions, making a wrong expansions, this is big for me now. So you have to understand that you can't just expand for the sake of expansions.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I think, is that all? Do we have one more question perhaps? Okay, one more question. We have one more question. Unfortunately, I have to cut this short, but this has been lovely. You talk about mentors.
I have, sorry, Mbak Puri.
Yes,
I have one thing. One thing that I missed. You for growth, it's so important for you to think about your KPIs. To understand your KPIs, it's very, very crucial for your growth.
Okay.
You don't plan growth without a proper KPI, without a proper target, because the rise and fall of the business comes back whether every individual within the business is fit for the business, meaning that person, every personnel within the business functioning within their roles, within their capacity, and within their KPIs.
Yeah.
So you are being placed in your department on that role with that task, with that KPI. And if you're functioning within that role, then you achieve growth. So that's why when you write your growth plan, you need to make sure you have a clear KPI where you can put a clear benchmark in there. And this ties into that vision, related thingy. You have to understand your vision as well, because again, your growth ties in back to the purpose and the goal and the vision of the business.
Yeah.
Because then you know where you're at. Because if you know your destination, where you're going, then you know where you're at. You want to go from Monas to Grand Indonesia, you only know where you're at if you know if you're going to Grand Indonesia. If you don't know where you're going, you just walk around Jakarta. You don't know where you're at. You only know that you're halfway there. If you know you're going from Monas to Grand Indonesia, then you're halfway there. And then you also it helps you to make decisions too, Mbak Puri. By understanding your clear vision, you know how to make decisions. Your daily decisions is always reflecting back to your purpose and your goal of your vision of the company.
Yeah.
So by understanding your vision, you can make decisions. If you know you're going to Grand Indonesia, you know what kind of transport you need to take, where do you need to go, what turn you need to take, and all that.
Oh my God, such a holistic point of view, and I agree with you. Not only having clear KPIs, but also understanding why, or in the importance of why we need to achieve it. I think also plays a big role on it. Yeah, understanding why we need to grow, and not only growing, but growing which way, how big, and so forth. So thank you for highlighting
and
that.
Just like Simon Sinek, once you grow, to what end? To what purpose? You have to ask the question why. What kind of impact? Why do you want to be there? Why do you want to earn that money? Why do you want to be so big if you don't have any purpose and no impact? You have to understand what's the purpose behind it.
I know.
You do what you do.
I know. Sometimes people just want to win big for the sake of winning big. And it's not good enough reason to go big if that's the only purpose.
And money is never a good reason for you to go big.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I have to end this discussion with a question from Ikrar. Mas Ivan, as the CEO of Navanti, how do you set up your core value knowing your team member are coming from different walks of life, and also they are, international or the world citizen coming from Indonesia and Australia. So how do you navigate that and set the tone and the core value of the team? Excellent question.
I'm being privileged to be the founder of the company. Being the founder of the company, I have the privilege to set the tone of how the company wants to run and what kind of environment I want to be in and what kind of ecosystem I want to create. It's so important, I think, for a founder, CEO, or chairman to really understand what is a good ecosystem, what is a good culture. And you want to create that. And then it has to, as you said, it has to set from the top bottom, right? And then, so when I set this, it's something that I truly reflect to what I truly believe in my fundamental philosophy. What my heart is saying is reflected to the culture that I've set within the company. I believe in relationship. I believe in integrity. I believe in constant learning, teachable. I believe in being impactful. All that is my fundamental belief as a human being, that you have to be that, for your existence. And that's what I actually place within my ecosystem.
We ended with the bang. Thank you so much, Mas Ikrar, for that wonderful question. Now, unfortunately, I have to end our discussion here. Mas Ivan, thank you so much for joining, and we've learned a lot from you. And do you mind if we do a quick photo op before we move on to our next agenda? Sure. Okay, studio team, get ready. I'm going to help counting down. Give your best smile, Mas Ivan, to the camera. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. One more time. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to give some love to Mas Ivan and team. Thank you so much, Mas Ivan. I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope this will also spark an even more engaging talk in the breakout sessions for all Perwira Pertamina. I hope to see you again soon, hopefully in Jakarta or me flying to Melbourne. But until that day comes, stay safe and please send my regards to Navanti Holding team. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mbak Puri. Thank you so much, Perwira Pertamina. God bless you. Take care.
Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Now, Perwira Pertamina, I hope you found today's talk very insightful. And don't forget to fill out the attendance form on the link that has been sent through Zoom chat and YouTube live chat. And moving right along, I'd like to hand over this session to our incredible speakers in the breakout session room, the one that you've been waiting for. And in this session, you will have such a clubhouse-like talks. You can discuss topics, no boundaries with the speakers, with the panels, and the host. And I now kindly go directly welcome to the chat box and see the link on the chat box that we've shared with you, and go click the room number. We have two numbers. Number 1 is highlighting the topic of effective business communication, or you can opt for room number 2, highlighting the topic of emotional intelligence. So feel free to switch room in the middle of the sessions, just in case you want to tap all the topics, and you can go in and out. You may get inside the room now because it's going to start soon. So as I say this, kindly check your chat box and then click the link. And don't forget to go back to the plenary session or the main room right after that. And we will also share the link to the chat box afterwards in case you forgot to save the link. We have 2 co-hosts that is ready to help you with the technicalities. My name is Pura Andita. Hope to see you again after the breakout session. Enjoy. Bye.
Mbak Tantri.
Hello, everyone. Hey, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. We are
Sure.
so excited here. We are joining in the breakout session, day 1. So hope everyone is feeling great and healthy. So we are all healthy and happy here. We're so excited. I am. Well, thank you for joining us for this breakout session. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Santri. I'm from the Human Capital function in PT Pertamina International
di PT
Shipping.
International Shipping.
And I'm very excited, and I hope you are too, because today we are going to talk
Karena
about
pada hari ini kita akan berbicara
business.
tentang komunikasi bisnis yang efektif.
All right, I think I hear some feedbacks of for the interpretation. Let me just take it off. All right, let me just continue for you, okay? Well, I'm just gonna go for a quick introduction now. As we all know that Peace and also Pertamina in general, we are already going global, and it is our duty to accept the challenges and to learn about how to communicate in the international world. Well, today we are going to dig deep, and we are going to learn a complete package on how to communicate in the international business and communication. So we're going to start on what is expected in the international business communication, in the international world, and how do we get there, and is there any tips and tricks and do's and don'ts about this? So we're going to discuss all of that. And today we're not only just going to talk about theory or just
Kita tidak hanya bicara tentang teori,
we are going to
tapi
hear
juga
and
kita akan
learn
mendengar
our fascinating speakers. They
dari
are
pembicara
their roles and
yang adalah seorang ahli di bidang
and they are very smart as
komunikasi.
well. So let's just hear
Jadi
from them.
mari
I'm
kita
just
dengar dari
introduce them.
dan sebelumnya saya akan memperkenalkan terlebih dahulu
The first one is
kepada mereka yang pertama.
Aditya Wira Santika. Well, he's a father of 2, graduated from UGM, majoring communication, and his postgrad is in Tulane, New Orleans, Louisiana, Texas, in energy management. His career in Pertamina started in 2010, exposed internationally, mainly in the field of investor relations, sustainability, corporate secretary, and business management. He is one of the founders of Pertamina's Toastmaster Club, and he has also represented Pertamina in various public occasions and lectures. All right, and he during his free time, he likes to play his guitar bass. Hopefully we can hear that soon, okay, Mas Adit? All right, our second speaker, our lovely Mbak Kay Skara Hanandita. Hello.
Hi, Mbak Tantri. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Well, Mbak Kay, she graduated from UI, from University of Indonesia, majoring in communication. And she has her postgraduate degree as well in global media communication in University of Melbourne. And she started her career in Pertamina in 2013, assigned in several entities within Pertamina, starting from Holding, Pepsi, and now she is currently in Kilang Pertamina International. She is an active member of United Nations Association of Australia Young Professional Network, and also in Public Relations Institute of Australia. She is our expert in the public relation. Yay! During her free time, she likes to have a piano lesson, and she loves handling the social media as well. And she claimed herself as a communication nerd, I guess.
Yeah, it's more like nerd.
Nerd is a good thing. And she loves doing journalistic since her early age. All right, hey, welcome, Mbak Kay.
Thank you, Mbak Tantri.
And last but not least, our beautiful Mbak Rima Rahayu. Hello, Mbak Rima.
Hello, Mbak Tantri. How are you doing?
Good, I'm very good, thank you. She's a mother of 2, graduated from UGM, majoring in psychology. She's continued her postgrad in Columbia University. Yay, well done, in human capital management. And she has been exposed to various functions in HR as well. She is also active in Pertamina Toastmaster Club. Well, she is now currently very interested and very excited to learn about machine learning and also robotic process automation for data quality and processing in HR. Well, that's a very big turn from your psychology background, ya, Mbak Rima. So
Yeah, indeed.
very, very soon. All right. Okay. Here is our speakers. Thank you so much for joining us today, this morning. And we're going to hear lots of your stories from your experience, of course, because Mas Adi, Mbak Kay, and Mbak Rima has different expertise as well. So without further ado, we're just going to go straight to the business, I guess. Well, the whole idea that we have the discussion, or that we have this topic about effective business communication, is that we are heading to a GlobalPISation, and it's literally in our front door, and we have to face it, and we have to be ready because business is growing rapidly. We need to catch up. That's the point. Not only for the benefit of ourselves, but for our function, I guess, and for our company, and at the end, it's for our country. So from the perspective of Mas Adit, I'm gonna ask you first, having deal with investors relation, business management, how important is for us to be effective in business communication? Please, Mas Adit.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Tantri, for having me. I think the short answer is it's very important. I think when we are talking about business communication, simply the definition will be a business in which we try to get the business opportunities, communication tools or communication or tools that we use to get business opportunities, right? So I think that will be number one when we are about to try to have a business opportunity. We always try to open communication with our partners, with our maybe investors and everything. And number thing that we do is, of course, communicate, right? So I think it's the key of everything. And in today's business world, I think with the help of digital technologies and everything else, communication has no boundaries anymore. So I cannot agree more that it's beyond important.
Exactly, I couldn't agree more, because it's just in the face of our screen, and it's our daily business, and I think it's very important as for us just to have a effective business communication. All right, from Mbak Kay, having experience in handling corporate communication and public relation, what do you take on this topic?
Oh, well, thank you, Mbak Tantri. So hi, everyone. This is Kay speaking, and you may call me Kay for short. Well, before that, I just want to share that it is my pleasure to join you all here today, along with Mas Adit and Mbak Rima, who definitely have a decent, not only experiences, but also takeaway regarding this matter. And I absolutely agree with what Mas Adit and Mbak Tantri has stated before, that business communication is very important, not only for communication professionals, but also for every types of business professionals. And just to add a little more fun fact, just to follow up from Mas Adit, actually during the pandemic, a survey from McKinsey, it says that even though there's a surge of technology, our business communication skill is still irreplaceable. With that kind of technology, because we have the capacity to build relationship or to conduct it with emotional intelligence. So that's definitely very important. I'm now working as a communication officer at the International Refining and Petrochemical Subholding of Pertamina. And of course, the main goal to conduct the business communication is to build the reputation. But by its very definition, business communication is any kind of communication strategy that strives to achieve your corporate goals. And it could be through anything, whether it's internal or external communication, whether it's written or verbal communication, whether it's formal or non-formal communication. So when we have a high-level meeting on that 5-star hotel, when we conduct a memorandum of understanding, that's part of business communication. But when you have maybe breakfast at Warkop with your stakeholders because you want to maintain your relationship. That's also part of business communication. So we could see that business communication it has a very broad scope, but also very interesting to deep dive. And in this session, because we are here at the GlobalPISation, I think we're gonna narrow it down a bit to the globalized part or the international part of the business communication. And later on in this session, I'm very interested to maybe share a bit of my experiences regarding my study overseas assignment and also my role as a communication officer. I think that's all from me.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mbak Kay. Well, I couldn't agree more because communication is a very broad topic. And I think everyone needs a good communication. Everyone needs to know how to be a good listener and also how to send their ideas right. And to
exactly. I'm happy that you say listener, because when we talk about communication, it's also about listening.
Yes, yes. It's not only just about talking, it's also about a good listener, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm just so happy that you also mentioned that there's a lot of topics or there's a lot of type of communication because verbal, written, and also it's informal or formal. I think it's quite a broad topic, but in this session, that's right. Thank you for mentioning as well. We are going to dig deeper about the international world, about the difference of communication in those multicultural as well. But I want to hear more about the types of communication and the communication that are done for the human capital and also on the digital base, on the technology base. If Mbak Rima could give her an insight about that, please, Mbak Rima.
Sure, thank you, Tantri, for the question. So yeah, you're right. I currently work in the HR system area, right? So although I work with data, algorithms, systems, robotic processes that you mentioned before, I still find that communication is an essential part of the work, right? And the project successes itself. So today I'll be sharing some of my experiences when I study abroad, just like Keiska mentioned before as well. And when I became part of international organizations abroad, right? So I'm honored and excited to share the story. So one of the stories that I'd like to share is about when I was the Vice President of Professional Development for Permias NYC. So Mbak Tantri, Permias NYC is a student government body for Indonesian students studying in the US. We had the opportunity to work together with United Nations because they see us, Indonesian people or Indonesian students, as their resources. Indonesia was one of the underrepresented country in the United Nations, right? So it means that they need more Indonesian people to work for United Nations. So Permias NYC was asked to be the project leader and also the moderator for the workshop. So it was like a workshop for Indonesian students, and they want us to know more about United Nations. And so what I want to share is that when we had to deal with those representatives from United Nations, as Keiska said before, we have to adapt our communication style, right? Because we represent Indonesia in that particular matter. So it was essential to identify their personality types or do a stakeholder mapping. So when I was faced with one of the representatives, I know that she had the opportunity to work in Jakarta as well. So we connect easily at that time. So it's important in communication to find something that is common between you and the person that you're talking to, right? So that's the first thing that I did. And then we talked about Jakarta.
Yeah, I
right?
think
The common ground, yeah.
Yeah, common grounds, right? To break the ice, to set the common ground, yeah. And then I was in an active listening mode because I want to learn a lot from her. So I try to be active in listening, as Keska said as well. So I tried to ask her what was the purpose of the agenda, and then how can we help as Permias NYC in that matter, and then we set this common goal together so that the communication process was smooth and we were talking toward the same agenda, right? And then also we were trying to be clear in terms of promote clarity, right? Because we tried to speak in specifics. So I asked them what type of audience that you want, what kind of student, from which majors, meaning that we're trying to ask them about what they need in specifics, right? So, and yeah, last but not least, we tried, our team, Permias NYC, tried to put some empathy, right? Because they did not
Recording
really...
in progress.
Yeah, so the process was not easy because it took us, I think, 3 months to set up the workshop. So in the process, we were trying to be empathy. We told them that it's not easy to gather Indonesian students that is attracted to work in the United Nations, because at that point, I don't know, in my year, students are looking forward to work for consulting industries like Goldman & Sachs, or finance industries or banking industries, right? So we told them that we might not have a big turnout for the workshop, but worry not, we're gonna try to do our best, because they told us that they had this kind of workshops earlier, like I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times, and then they said that there wasn't a big or enough turnout for the event. That's why we told them that we're not promising like a big turnout, but we're trying our best to gather the students. So yeah, that's my take on this question, Tantri.
All right.
Some of the tips that I used, like I practiced in my communication skill, right? With the UN representatives. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Barima. Thank you so much for that take. And I think, you mentioned earlier about setting the common ground and also having active listening to, just to have know what's the purpose of the event and also the purpose of the communication. I think it's a big key point. And I think building a relationship that you mentioned earlier is also a key point, to be connected to others, and communication, I think that's a key point as well. So probably I'm going to come back to Mbak Kay, if I could.
Sure.
Please share your experience, how to be, because I know that you are in corporate secretary as well, and that if you have any experience using the digital platform, and I think it could be kind of a challenging to build a relation in those kind of area as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that, Mbak Kay?
All right. So this is like the business communication. I think earlier we have listened to a very good insight by Mbak Rima, and it's about interpersonal communication between 2 persons coming from different backgrounds, right? So with corporate communication, it's also part of business communication, but it's actually on different sides, because there's an interpersonal and there's also a more corporate side. So there is actually a similarity, but there's also differences with that. Some of the similarity is because we need to understand our audience or our stakeholders when we are dealing with corporate communications. So in my context, I work as a media communication officer, and my primary stakeholders are the media. So before we try to conduct the business communication with those media, we actually need to do a kind of stakeholder mapping. I think Barima has mentioned this also earlier, and this stakeholder mapping is like a more sophisticated term for stalking. But when you're stalking your stakeholders, it doesn't consider it as just another stalking. No, it's actually resourcing your stakeholders.
So it's not really a crime, right?
It's not a crime.
It's not like stalking your ex, right, Keiska?
Yeah,
Different,
because
right?
who knows if we can improve the relationship? Yeah, I think that principle could apply as well to corporate communication. So in this sense, we're trying to, because I work in the refining and petrochemical business, we are trying to conduct a proactive communication with the media. It means that before the crisis happens, we need to always maintain our relationship. One of the way is actually to create press release and to just regularly update, giving them our business updates. After that, we need to map those kinds of media. Like usually we try to capture or to portray those media into 4 types. The first one is the media which has high influence and also high interest for us. This should be our first, our primary stakeholder. But this also applies to another kind of business, because this kind of media, they have power and they have favorable perception for our organization. Obviously, we need to maintain them to be our primary stakeholder. And the second one is the media who has high influence but low interest, because this can be danger for us. Imagine if such powerful media, but then they're turning against us. It could create a kind of crisis communication. And the third one are the types of stakeholders who are actually are not necessarily really powerful, but they have a positive interest towards our company. We still need to maintain this kind of media because they have a stable relationship with us. And the fourth one is the media that has low influence, but also low interest for us. We actually don't really need to prioritize this kind of media. At a first glance, it seems like, oh, this only belongs to the corporate secretary field. But actually, this principle is very applicable no matter what kind of jobs you are dealing with. For instance, in Barima is working in the HR. When Barima wants to make a policy, it will be strategic, and I believe Barima and the HR team has also done this. Like they're trying to understand their audiences first, maybe the employees, who are the primary target or their secondary target. So whatever part you're in, I think having a sense of knowing who are your primary audience or your primary stakeholders, it will help you out to, again, business communication is something that you do to achieve your goal.
Yes.
So that's a bit from the corporate communication side, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Make, for that insight. And I think it's very valuable for us just to have a quick lesson on that, because not everyone knows about stakeholder mapping. And I think it's very important that you know what is the possible impact on that, the possible outcome, and also how to set your strategy of communication towards that. So I think it's good just to know the mapping of your stakeholder map.
And actually, it also occurs for a non-formal setting.
Exactly.
Like when you, I'm not exactly the one who does this, but my team does this. So when we're going to have maybe an FGD with the governmental body, there's actually an officer who are assigned to do a kind of stakeholder mapping. So he needs to do the stalking again. Like he will list down the name of the persons and their perceptions towards Pertamina, because we are actually stalking them through their statements on the media, and then we also strive to see their political stance and maybe their educational background. So it will really help, because if we didn't do that, imagine if maybe our senior level managers would jump in to someone who is actually against us and maybe they start a conversation that could
jeopardize
message for us. Yeah. So even in the non-formal setting, it will also work.
Wow, interesting. I didn't know that you have a special person just to have that kind of a stalking mode. Well, I think you mentioned about, knowing your stakeholder as well. And we are talking about the international world, how we are going to deal with the international audience. And Mas Aditya here, he has he's an expert, I guess, an expert in setting a relation with the international investors, and also setting a relationship and trust-based, I guess, for this upcoming for the business management and sustainability. So Mas Adit, how is it important that we know the background of our international audience? Because I know that they're probably going to have multinational background or multi-culture. How is it important? And do you have any experience on this kind of issue? Please, Mas Adit, please share.
Sure. I think the idea behind trying to know our audience is because the principle of communication for me is we communicate not to satisfy ourselves, right? But we want to, make sure that our message is sent across to our audience or communicant. We say that in the communication world. Mm-hmm. And to make sure about that, it's like you in a restaurant, right? You cannot cook something on your own idealism. You have to know what your customers want. What do they like? Do they like spicy foods? Do they like, what kind of food, right? And I think that's the number one thing in communication is knowing what they need and how we can fulfill that with communication. I think, and number two is by knowing our audience is we can create relevance. I think Rima has mentioned this before. If you like stand-up comedy, I think the idea behind stand-up comedy is not funny because it's funny, right? They always say that. Yeah. It's funny because it's relevant to the audience. And yeah. I think that is communication, making relevance with our audience. Yeah. And now if we want to take that in a smaller context of how we understand other people's culture, I have quite a few experience to tell. Number one is the experience when I was assigned by my vice president to make sure that Aditya Pertamina needs to be in Fortune 500 list again in 2021. I remember back then in 2019, we were excluded from that list, right? And not because our performance is bad, but mostly because of a problem in submitting the documents right on time. So I asked to the team beforehand what happened last year and what have we done this year to make sure that we get listed. And they say that we tried to send email to Fortune, but we never got any reply. And I asked, which email do you use to send it to Fortune? Oh, we use this group email. You imagine group email is like maybe Pertamina International Shipping at pertamina.com, right? It's nothing personal, right? And they never got any reply. And then I just tell the team, what if this time I try to email them with my own account, aditya.santika@pertamina.com, and see if they will reply back? And I replied, I sent that email, and less than 12 hours, they reply back. And after that, we have a very, an iterative kind of communication back and forth. And fortunately, now we are listed back again in Fortune. That is just one of the example of people in Fortune. They are in America, right? They don't like spam emails. They have already spammed every single day, right? They don't want to see a corporate look email, a group email. They want to see a personalized email. That's the approach. I think that's number one. The way.
Questions over here from Bu Amalia from Senior Comops Indonesia. In short, that how to manage emotions and moods at work. For sure, we are not always in a happy mood maybe we have been in a bad moods and emotion. So we can combine my question with Bu Amalia's question. In your example, I believe that you will not always be happy when doing things especially related to emotion. How you actually handle your moods in the example given by Mas Hafez or Mas Adi? Please, Mas Hafez or Mas Adi.
Yeah, okay. Let me start first. Yeah, actually, our emotion is the 100% that we can control. Yeah, our self emotion. We cannot control the other emotion. Yeah? So you need to self-regulation first. Yeah, self-regulation. Back to the objective. What is your purpose to work? I really like the let's talk about a movie a little. Yeah, for the break, guys. I assume that most of us watch the Kung Fu Panda, yeah, Kung Fu Panda 3. Yeah, when he said that the village was attacked, the point itself is so exciting. Yeah, this exciting that hey, this is the tense. Yeah, so everybody should come to the office and say, I'm ready for the next challenge. So I'm really ready to give the benefit for the company. I'm ready for the challenge. So you should pump the and say it in front of the mirror in the morning. So it's still good for you to give away the bad mood, yeah, from the environment. So yourself is 100% that you can control. You cannot control everybody emotion. Yeah, we have also the regulation, yeah, in our office. But first of all, you need to self-regulate yourself, and then you should pump yourself that I'm benefit to the company, I'm beneficial to the company, I'm ready for the work company, I'm ready for the challenge. That's what I do. So we need to imitate the post spirit, yeah, I think.
Okay, Mas Hafez. Thank you very much, Mas Hafez. Before talking about Kung Fu Panda later on, maybe we can hear first from Mas Adi. Mas Adi, what about you? How you manage your emotions at work, and given a specific example with us, how you actually develop your emotional intelligence? Please, Mas Adi.
Okay, Mas Dari, thank you for the question, and I agree with Mas Hafez that ourselves is the one who fully understand about our own. So firstly, it starts with ourselves. Think about how you came to be a person you are today. We need to know and understand ourselves, aware of your goals, values, and other personal drivers or emotion for yourself. And you need to develop the skill to comfort yourself. Yeah, many book, many movie that we can understand. We can learning about positive self-affirming and self-motivation. In example, as previously shared by Mas Widya, because now I was assigned in the trading company, so the experience in trading company is very dynamic. It is very changing quickly. We don't know the situation. It could be better, it could be worse. Yeah. But the first thing first, we need to understand about ourselves, about our motivation, about our values. Then whatever the situation, we always think about the positive way. That's actually the basic or the most principle about the emotional quotient. So after we understand about ourselves, even though the situation is not very promising, not very good for us, but we always find a new or a solution for a better situation. Even though, yeah, for myself, I don't know what will happen in the next, because I already have my portfolio, I already have my LNG, my own LNG to be traded. So basically, we need to find some revenue from trading activity to find some positive gain, but we don't know about the market. And then because we are trying to be a positive, trying to find a solution, we will find a way somehow. So the first thing was start with ourselves. That's the key. Thank you, Mas
Adi. So yeah, I noticed that the most important line here that we can control our emotion. But I'm interested with Bu Amalia's question. What if, let's say, my next question, what if maybe there is, bad experience at work where you actually could not handle the pressure or the stress in managing business? Could you share with us, because life sometimes ups and downs, could you share with us when you are at your lowest point and how actually having a good EQ or emotional intelligence could bring the best? I believe. I believe when you are unhappy, it's not always meaning that the result will be not great, but I believe there's always silver lining behind it. So, do you have bad experience happening to you in the business, but you actually can take advantage of it and make a good or better yourself? Maybe we can start with Mas Midat.
Yes, I agree with you. There is sometimes bad things happen in your life that we cannot control. The one that you control is how to react with that situation. So it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. And we just need to take a small break and do your hobby to release the stress. For example, I like doing sport. I just 30 minutes to shoot a free throw or 3 points. It's okay, just to release. And then after that, you can gain your good mood and back to work. That's sometimes that I've done that therapy, if I can say it like that. But I believe if within this bad times, we have I think we can get this good what do you call hikmah or lesson learned. Lesson learned that we can, for example, I think this year our company is not so perform well because we get exposure from the price. But one thing that we can ensure the HQ that we can establish the footprint because we already gained some market share here. Even though the margin is not so good, but we can gain the market share. There's always a positive thing that we can promote. We can share with someone that give us assignment. So I believe we can still move forward and then we can achieve in the good days.
Thank you, Mas Widat. So any other tips or sharing experience from Mas Hafez or Mas Adi when you feel not good or maybe bad experience happened to you, but you can take advantage of it?
Okay. I will start.
Yes, please, Mas
Adi. Yeah. I like the quotes of about fall 7 times, wake 8 times. If you fall 7 times, you need to wake up 8 times. It means there is a lot of there will be the opportunity. It's okay to make the mistake, but everybody make mistake. But as long as you have to calculate, in the upstream activity, we talk about the mitigation for it, while we conducting the infill well and the other field activity. In the field development, we talk in the planning. So I think when we make a mistake, take a break, and you should PDCA, plan do check evaluate, something like that. So you need to evaluate why do I fail, and you will find what is the missing part. What the missing part from our job. So basically the upstream activity is high risk, operation, high risk, high capital, but also high gain. That's what's the characteristic of itself of the upstream activity. So from based on my experience, if I made some mistake or in the lowest part, we should take a break. Maybe we pray. It's important to pray. So God will give us the strength, yeah. God will give us the strength and get up and go forward again. That's
Thank
all.
you, thank you, Mas Hafiz. Very interested taking of for your explanation that whenever you do a mistake, it's allowable. Maybe in your case, it's calculated as the we know that the upstream sector is very high risk and high gain, and similar to Mas Widat, whenever you do a mistake or whenever things doesn't go right, you need to step back and evaluate what next will be happening for you for a better period. So, Mas Adi, we have questions again from the same person from Mbak Amalia, but before coming on to that, maybe you can share with us, Mas Adi, when you feel not performing or when things doesn't go right, what actually you do in terms of improving your EQ and also take advantage of this bad experience. Please, Mas Adi.
Yeah, it is actually already shared by Mas Widat and Mas Hafiz, yeah. On the principal matter, when we do some mistakes, we need to step back, evaluate, and find the positive or learning point that we can take to anticipate the future. So as I previously mentioned, that the first thing is that we need to understand about our goals, values, and other driver or emotion. Then after we understand about ourselves, we can manage our emotion better. Not every situation will going to our plan as we plan. Of course, because this is the reality. When we're planning something, it could be go as we plan, but it also can go not as our plan. So that's actually always happen in reality in our business. There is always deviation. So we need to step back. I agree. Then we manage it. We need to be agile. We need to be adaptive with our situation. The situation is always dynamic, especially its current situation. We don't know that. We see as current situation we face. We didn't expect that there will be some new variant on the coronavirus. We expect that the situation could be better, the economic would increase, going well. But now we heard about new variant. Yeah, we need to respond about that situation. In ourselves, we understand about our values. We understand about our goal. We need to be tough. We need to be agile, adaptive, in order we can achieve our goal. Of course, we need to step back. We need to evaluate. But the important thing is we need to get up. We need to be optimistic about the future and do what you can do. And yeah, just do it like the Nike.
Thank you very much, Mas Adi. Very thoughtful point of view that I noticed that Mas Adi repeat this statement that we need to understand ourselves better in terms of goals and values. So whenever things that don't go as a plan, we can recall back why we are here, what's our values and goals and stuff. And we only have 5 minutes before time is up. Actually, Ms. Bu Amalias would like to open the camera because we can share with us, or if not, I could read the next questions. Bu Amalia, are you available to open your camera? Or if not, I could read the question. So basically, is how to deal with coworkers or boss who are in a bad mood. So she said that she once faced a situation where the boss was in a bad mood, even though there were matters to report and discuss. But of course, whenever somebody is in a bad mood, you do not want to approach him directly or her directly. So based on your experience, gentlemen, do you feel the same way as what Bu Amalia experienced before, and how you actually deal with coworkers or even boss who are actually in a bad mood? So thank you, Bu Amalia. It's actually my next question after dealing with yourself. Mas Widat or Mas Hafiz or Mas Adi, please.
Okay, I will start with me. Yeah. Okay. There's some people say that don't talk with the angry person. Yeah. If you are in a bad mood, yeah, we need to think the time, yeah, the right time to talk with him. Yeah. Of course, we will. But however, if there's important, yeah, we need to talk to him and even we don't have a good response, we need to escalate, because our boss has a boss also, and we have the situation business that we need immediate action. So we can escalate. So, but before the escalate, of course, we hope he can calm down, and after that we share our concern, and it will not be easy, that situation. But we should try, because we just talk business. We don't baper, nggak baper. Don't baper, about business. We just talk a business. We have concern here. We have to do the situation. So let's talk and do the action. That's
Thank you, Mas Hafiz. Thank you. So interesting point, because what matters in the office is business, right? So you must put aside your personal emotion, and what Mas Hafiz say, that you can skip level or escalate to the next bosses. I know it's not easy, but if business is the number one important thing in your office, then why not? So Mas Adi or Mas Widat, any addition point when you deal with the bad mood coworkers or boss?
Yes, Mas Dery. Actually, in office we can also talk not about the business. If we face those kind of situation, I think we can talk with the one that have bad angry or bad manner, with not to jump into the business first. We can talk about the hobby. We can talk about the experience, and just try to chit chat for the beginning. After we give ice breaking first. After they calm down and look, can talk for the business, then we can go through to the business. That's the art of communication, actually. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. But we can try. At least we try to be more empathy with them, and try to shift their focus first before we jump into the business.
Thank you, Mas Widat. Interesting point that when you are talking about angry coworkers or not in a good mood coworkers, maybe you can put aside first business, talking about the common points, hobbies, likeness, or whatsoever, before going back to business. So thank you, Mas Widat. And Mas Adi, what about you? Do you have experience with bad mannered coworkers, or maybe not so in a good mood bosses?
Just a little share from me. So that situation is actually very dilemmatic situation, because it is already coming from the external factor, not coming from us, but coming from the external factor. So if we correlate it to our topic today about emotional intelligence, so it relates to the social awareness. So I fully agree with Mas Widat previously statement about we need to give our empathy. We need to understand about the situation. We need to accept it. The first thing is that the situation cannot be controlled. The first thing that Mas Hafiz already explained before, the first that we can control is ourselves. So how we react about the situation. Of course, the first, we need to be positive way. We need to develop positive view on the others. We need to understand about their situation well, about their emotional. With no positive response on the situation, it will be difficult to find a solution. So we need to listen about the situation in our surrounding. Maybe it is coming from our boss, maybe it is coming from our team. But again, in the business, the most important thing is about the company vision and mission. So we need to understand about that as a team, as a group, and the integrity. We need to reiterate about the integrity as our role in the business. And of course, by the time being, we need to talk with our boss or to our team about the business. But the first, we need to listen about them. We need to give our empathy about the situation. Thank you, Mas Ded.
Thank you, Mas Adi. Thank you very much. That's actually sum up our session today. The committee has reminded me that the time is over. I know there's somebody who's raising hand. Apologize that we could not answer your questions right now, but I believe these three gentlemen, you can contact or direct to them respectively. So for the closing, if let's say each of you could say in a one sentence, what is your wish to Pertamina and also to the Perwiras in the future, in the near future, I believe?
Yeah. From my point of view, yes. The Pertamina is huge company. Yeah. If you talk about huge company, there will be no Superman. There's no one-man show. So we need to synergize the upstream, the downstream, with the government, in the community. We should empower each other. That's the point I would say. If then and also for we give the benefit for our company. This is the red and white, merah putih. Okay, that's our point of view. We need to synergize.
So synergize, all right. So no Superman, no Kung Fu Panda or Pao in this company, right? Okay, Mas Widat or Mas Adi, please.
Yes, yeah. We hope our company can elevate into the next phase of business to going global. Actually, we have a competitive advantage that we haven't explored yet, especially in the global business, and also we have a strong relationship and network with several partners. So with this market share in Indonesia that already saturated, I think the next things that we can achieve is to go global intensively. So hopefully with my role in PIMD, I also can assist Pertamina to have more presence in the region, also to implement the vision of mission of state-owned enterprise ministry that we have to be going global.
Thank you, Mas Widat. So make us proud, Mas Widat. I believe all Perwiras also count on you for the legacies. So Mas Adi, last but not least.
Okay, just short statement. Maintain your positive attitudes. Practice it every day about your skill, your knowledge. Try to improve it. And communication and engagement with colleagues or even with business partners. I believe that we can contribute more to Pertamina in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sweet and short, Mas Adi. So we come to the end of our session. Thank you very much, audience. We have about 40s just now, audience joining us. Please do come back to the main room for the quizzes and also the session. I believe there will be interesting prizes. So to sum up the discussion, that emotional intelligence is very important in today's business. It comprises understanding, comprises empathy and self-awareness about others. Things may not be always go in your direction. When things doesn't go right, you may need to step back or let's say check why you actually work here or why you actually been performing not so good. And last but not least, keep improving. That's one point of emotional intelligence. So I thank you.
Last question from me, but in Indonesia.
Yes.
Apabila nasi sudah menjadi bubur, kita bikin buburnya enak aja.
Asik.
Asik.
With ketchup,
bubur, Mas.
With ketchup. Okay. Thank you very much, Mas Widat, for the bubur analogy, Mas Hafiz for the Kung Fu Panda, also Mas Adi for reminding us to know ourselves better. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having us today. We hope that the session will be benefit not only for our company, but most importantly to each of every one of you as a Perwira Pertamina. I'm Dery from Human Capital Peace, saying goodbye to all of you and wish better health and also hopefully this pandemic will be over soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Pertamina. Stay healthy.
Hello Perwira Pertamina, welcome back to the main room. I took a peek to both sessions. They were all very engaging and insightful. I would like to send my energy and thank you to both moderators, Mbak Tantri and also Mas Dery, and also to both panels. There were Mas Aditya Wira, and then Mbak Keiskara, Mbak Rima. I had a great time being in the audience of Mas Widat, Mas Adi, and Mas Hafez. They were talking about how to deal with a low energy coworker. Maybe it's time to buy them coffee. But I had a really great time and I hope you did too. Now, let me help you relax and decompress. Thank you so much for your time and energy invested in today's webinar, because we are ready to give away 200,000 rupiah per person for 3 lucky winners. So now I ask you kindly log into the link we've shared in the chat box. So take a look at your chat box real quick. We are now using Quizzes app for today's game. So key in or type in our room number and don't forget to use your real name, your real full name. Why? Because this is important for winner verification later. So ladies and gentlemen, take your time. You can log in right now to Quizzes. I will be waiting, and while waiting for others to join, let's see the following videos from PT PIS. See you in a bit.
Saat berangkat kerja, sebelum menjalankan WFO, pastikan Anda dalam kondisi sehat dan fit. Jangan lupa, wajib untuk selalu menggunakan masker, membawa hand sanitizer, dan membawa perlengkapan ibadah sendiri. Wajib menggunakan moda transportasi pribadi atau yang disediakan perusahaan. Saat tiba di kantor, wajib gunakan masker. Cuci tangan di fasilitas yang telah disediakan atau menggunakan hand sanitizer sebelum memasuki kantor. Wajib menjalankan thermal screening oleh fungsi medikal. Hanya pekerja dengan suhu tubuh normal kurang dari 37,5 derajat Celcius yang diperbolehkan masuk kantor. Pekerja dengan suhu di atas 37,5 derajat Celcius diarahkan ke tim medis. Terapkan physical distancing sesuai dengan pengaturan yang telah ditetapkan. Penerapan physical distancing dengan mengatur pola layout, tata letak, tempat duduk, dan pengurangan kapasitas setiap ruangan. Mengisi daftar hadir online. Laksanakan pola hidup bersih sehat. Optimalkan fasilitas e-meeting dengan M-Teams. Apabila rapat fisik tidak dapat dihindari, patuhi aturan rapat dengan pastikan jumlah peserta sesuai kapasitas physical distancing yang diatur di setiap ruang rapat. Durasi rapat maksimal 60 menit. Hindari berjabatan tangan dan kontak fisik lainnya. Untuk pekerja yang harus keluar kantor, maka wajib membawa surat tugas dari atasan dan diserahkan ke security. Selama waktu istirahat, tetap terapkan physical distancing dan hindari keramaian, termasuk penggunaan fasilitas umum lainnya seperti toilet, musola, dan ruang tunggu. Dihimbau membawa bekal makan siang dari rumah dan gunakan peralatan makan dan minum pribadi. Dilarang meninggalkan kantor untuk membeli makan siang. Apabila tidak membawa bekal, wajib memesan makanan melalui layanan delivery service yang disediakan Pertamina maupun dari provider lain dengan protokol pengambilan makanan yang ditetapkan. Saat pulang kerja, wajib gunakan masker. Terapkan physical distancing dalam mobilitas menuju rumah. Wajib menggunakan moda transportasi pribadi atau yang disediakan perusahaan. Tidak mengunjungi tempat keramaian. Membersihkan diri sesaat tiba di rumah. Patuhi seluruh protokol mulai berangkat dari rumah, bekerja di kantor atau di lapangan, sampai kembali ke rumah. Tetap sehat dan selamat. Kuncinya adalah kejujuran dan disiplin dalam menjalankan protokol perusahaan. Jaga diri, selamatkan keluarga. Tetap semangat dan nyalakan energi tulus untuk melayani negeri.
Quiz time. Let's check out the quizzes app. Let's see if I can monitor from here. Are you ready for the first question? Okay, studio team. Let's present our first question. GlobalPISation Day 1 quiz. Question number 1. I think it's out of 5 questions. So, get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get your fingers right on top of your keyboards because this is not only we are looking for the correct answer, but being the fastest is also key. All right, I'm going to help you read the PIN number and also the link. So kindly go to joinmyquiz.com. So from your browser, you can type in joinmyquiz.com and then enter the game code that is 724136. And then I will be waiting for you to log in to Quizzes app. I have seen several people logging in. A quick shout out to Mas Ikrar. I remember you from the previous conversation, Mbak Jessica. But we're still waiting for others to log in. And I'm sure if you maintain your focus and you jot down all the important or key takeaways from our previous session and also 2 breakout sessions, I'm sure these 5 questions are easy for you to tackle. Oh, and Mbak Rati is also with us. Hi, Mbak Rati. I hope you are well. All right. More people joining in, and if you're still confused or need help with the technicalities, let me repeat that again. Go to your browser, could be Chrome or anything, or Mozilla, for example, and then type in joinmyquiz.com. Type in joinmyquiz.com, and then they will ask you for game code. Type in 724136. I hope you can also see the information on your screen. We're still waiting for others to join in. We are looking for 3 winners who can take away 200,000 rupiahs e-wallet. Not bad at all for day 1. All right. Are we ready? I think the studio team is getting ready and igniting the quiz right now. Start. Let's see question number 1 out of 5. Who is the moderator for breakout session 1, room 1? Do you remember? Room 1 talks about, I think, was it communication? Oh, I would like to say hi to Diza Atikasari, who is now number 1 on the leaderboard. The answer is Mbak Tantri Hapsari Hudaya. Yes. All right, on to the next question, number 2. All right. What is the theme of the breakout session 1, room 2? I almost gave it away earlier. A, B, C, or D? The answer is emotional intelligence, the importance of EQ in business. So, okay. Congratulations. Top 3. Others can still, make moves. On to the next questions. Question number 3 out of 5. All right, let's see. When is GlobalPISation being held? A, 10 to 11th December, B, 7 to 8 December, C, 7 to 8 November, or D, 20 to 21 December. Which one? The answer is B. Congratulations again to Diza, Willie, and Jean. Oh, the majority correctly answers. Great job. All right, on to the next. 2 more questions. Get your fingers ready. When was PT Pertamina International Shipping established? A. August 10th, 2018, December 23rd, August 10th, 2017, or December 23rd, 2016. The answer is D. December 23rd, 2016. Only 9 people correctly answer. You're turning how many years old this year? December. Okay, on to the next. Last question. 5 out of 5. Get ready. Go. What is the vision of PT Pertamina International Shipping? Ooh, I know this. Is it A, B, C, or D? I think you see the Indonesian version of it. The answer is B. Being a leading shipping company in Asia, igniting economic growth in Indonesia. Yes, the majority of the audience correctly answer. And let's check out the leaderboard. I would like to congratulate 3 winners. Who are they? Mas Ikrar, you're on the 3rd. On behalf of Mas Jin Adiaksa, 2nd. And number 1, can't seem to see it. Is it Mbak Diza? Mbak Diza, congratulations. Mwah! Congratulations, winners. Kindly text your full name, underscore your function or department in Pertamina, underscore your phone number to our co-host named Willie on behalf of IDN event. So congratulations again, Mas Ikrar, Mas Jin, and Mbak Diza. Love you. You have 200,000 rupiahs in your pocket in a moment. Also, allow me to thank our speakers. And just as our speaker emphasizes, Mas Ivan, allow me to summarize that understanding the why, understanding purpose is key to not only personal growth, but also business expansion. Keeping an open mind, being agile, and bringing solutions to the table are the ingredients to building a successful network. So don't miss out tomorrow's webinar. We will have another discussion about work culture with Mas Handi Kurniawan. He is a global HR specialist, followed by another 2 breakout sessions featuring Pertamina's best panels and moderators, highlighting diversity and entrepreneurial mindset. Again, make sure to fill out the attendance link or attendance form in the link below so you have a chance to win Sharp Air Purifier and Xiaomi Mi Band. I thank you for your amazing energy and enthusiasm. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'm Pura Anindita signing out. Have a productive day ahead and stay safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.